against filmmakers behind a new movie that just premiered at the Cannes Film Festival, in particular for a disturbing rape scene depicted in the final cut. So we ask, is this a legitimate legal threat or just bluster? The movie's labeled as being inspired by true events and portrays a fictional Trump and his relationship with attorney Roy Cohn in the 80s. It follows Trump's rise as a businessman and politician. But there's a scene in which the fictional Trump sexually assaults his wife, Ivana, which some who were at the premiere describe as violent and uncomfortable. And it appears to be based on an account taken from a deposition Trump's actual ex-wife, the late Ivana Trump, once gave. She gave an account which was later published in a book called Lost Tycoon and summarized by the Daily Beast, saying, quote, Donald held back Ivana's arms and began to pull fistfuls of hair from her scalp. He tore off her clothes and unzipped his pants. Ivana's terrified. It's a violent sexual assault, author Harry Hurt writes. According to versions she repeats to some of her closest confidants, he raped me. Ivana later clarified and or retracted those words in various statements, first when the book was published, saying, quote, on one occasion during 1989, Mr. Trump and I had marital relations in which he behaved very differently toward me than he had during our marriage. As a woman, I felt violated as the love and tenderness which he normally exhibited towards me was absent. I referred to this as a rape, but I do not want my words to be interpreted in a literal or criminal sense. Later in 2015, as Donald Trump was running for president, Ivana issued this statement, quote, the story is totally without merit. Donald and I are the best of friends, and together we've raised 3 children that we love and are very proud of. And Trump has said it never happened, and in response to the film, his campaign communications director saying they'll file a lawsuit, and quote, this garbage is pure fiction which sensationalizes lies that have long been debunked. This film is pure malicious defamation, should not see the light of day. Okay. But is Donald Trump really going to sue the maker of the film, which doesn't even have a distributor in the United States yet? If he actually does sue, I'll bet he would probably settle before depositions have to be taken, and the filmmakers don't seem concerned.
I mean, everybody talks about him suing a lot of people. They don't talk about his success rate, though, you know? I don't necessarily think he would like it. I think that I think he would be surprised, you know? And you know, like I said before, like I would be happy. I would offer him to go and meet him wherever he wants and talk about the context of the movie, have a screening and have a chat afterwards.
That's not going to happen. I can promise you. Joining me now, David Cay Johnston, an investigative journalist who has written 3 books on the former president, including The Making of Donald Trump. He also faced legal threats from Donald Trump. Thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so is he actually going to move forward with a lawsuit?
Well, not in the United States, but he might sue in the UK because British law is different than American law, much more favorable to people in this sort of circumstance. But in the US, he would get nowhere for the simple reason that I'm sure when we actually get to see the film, which was based on reporting by Harry Hurt and by Gabriel Sherman, who are both excellent journalists, we'll see that it's hewed to the facts that were known and in the record.
But you've been threatened by Donald Trump, right, for lawsuits. I think that a lot of times, and by the way, I think Hunter Biden may be doing the same thing with threatening Fox News. There is this tendency to make these threats, so you get press about it, and it says, this person is threatening to sue, or retain all your documents because we're going to sue you, and et cetera. And then they either don't do it, or in a case like this, I can't imagine Donald Trump wants a trial over the truth of this rape scene, right?
Right. And Donald has threatened to sue me many, many times, Dan, although interestingly, never face to face. He only has done it over the phone. And I always say to him after he goes through his rant, Donald, if you think you have a case, you should go ahead and bring it. Now, of course, if he did that, I would have discovery rights, and he has no interest in that. And he's hired, Donald also bullies people with lawsuit threats. He's hired a number of the very best litigators in America to come after me. And after 36 years, he's never gotten so much as a comma corrected because I'm careful about the facts. And I'm sure the filmmakers were careful about the facts.
And has he actually ever gone ahead and sued you, though?
No, not at all.
Just
not at all. And the one time he did sue a journalist, my New York Times colleague, Tim O'Brien, it went very badly for him.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.